So as I said to begin with, just because you have a process doesn't mean to say it's effective. You've really got to get people to engage with it. With the right design, you're more likely to get that engagement. But there's a whole range of other things really to consider. And the first thing, to be selfish about it, is people are going to ask, where am I in this? Show me in it. So what you really need to do with your processes and procedures is make it instantly relevant and easy to find out for the person to find out what's expected of them. Most people are competent in their jobs. They don't really need to be told in detail how to do it often, but what we want to know is what's the way it's done here so that I can do it consistently and I can do the way that it's expected so that I don't go off and do it my own way. So we need to understand that people have a base, a good strong base understanding, but we want to quickly know where I am. So, you know, for example, if we have a little procurement process here that's broken into 12 steps, you know, maybe I'm only involved in step 9. Well, I don't want to have to plow through steps 1 to 8 in order to suddenly realize that I'm not involved in step 9. I can see the whole process, that's great. I can understand where I fit in this, and therefore I can then delve into step 9 in more detail because that's what I need to do. So the business gets 2 benefits there. One is everyone is clear of the entire process, but they can then quickly get to the bit that's really important to them. And once we've got to that part that says, right, this is about me, then make it very clear and very explicit and very concise what's expected of people in terms of their role at that point in time. Because ultimately what you're really doing with this is almost giving people a quick reference. So that especially if it's something or part of a process or procedure I don't do very often, I can quickly go to that part and I can go, right, this is what I have to do. Here's the 6 things I have to do. Good, it's clear. Right? So we need to be quite direct with that. And we need to make it relevant. Now, one of the biggest excuses we find for people not to apply a process or a procedure is it doesn't apply to me. I do it differently. It doesn't work in my part of the business, my part of the organization. Sometimes that is genuinely correct, in which case, right at the beginning, you need to design for that. If there's an exception to the process in terms of the way that some part of the business works, design it in so that therefore it's encapsulated. Often though, it isn't. And therefore you need to be very clear about explaining to people and making it very clear how this does actually apply to different parts of the organization, different sorts of projects, different types of environments, different sites. Make that explicit. Make it so that, again, I can see my part of my work quite clear within this process. And that leads us on then to the other thing about really getting engagement, and that's about rollout. And it's to get away from this, let's just email this out to everyone and hope that they do it. You have to launch something. You have to make a bit of pizzazz about this. Make it seem as like it is important, because it is. You need to hold launch events and make them mandatory. Don't make it optional that people attend and find out about it, but make them short, concise, do it online, do it physically, cascade it, whatever, but actually launch whatever you're doing. Some people may say, well, this is a very internal sort of process. Should we really be doing that? Absolutely you should, so that people are familiar with what it is and also why they're doing it. That's what's really important. It's like, here's something new. Why are you asking me to do that? Once you've rolled it out, you should be able to give people takeaway things as well. Things that, you know, quick references of how they can use something. You know, little cards, whatever it may be. These aren't gimmicks. These are practical. People can carry them around and use them, have them on their desks. But they're a constant reminder. They're a constant reminder about engagement. I've walked through some organizations' offices and seen things like that were rolled out years ago, and people still have them there, and they still have them on their desk. They still use them for reference. So these are important. And then the other thing is, start a communication campaign. Raise awareness. We're a big fan of making posters and having those around buildings, or these days having them electronically to support a process and make them engaging. Here's a nice little one that we did for an organization that was doing change management. Okay? Something that's a little bit different, something that makes people stop and go, wait a minute, flying penguin. So it's not about trivializing it, it's about really people making it a talking point and getting engaged with it. Oh, and by the way, make sure that you give your whole program an identity. Don't make it look like it's just been randomly dreamt up. get the corporation behind it. Make it look corporate. Give it a name, give it an identity. That can help to get over a message as well, one of the key messages within it. But make it look like, hey, the business is really behind this. They've spent some time and effort to create this. And again, people can see things around. And if you get the right name on some of these processes, it becomes part of the business language. People actually use that word or that phrase whenever they come to do it.